Hey guys, Luke here, and so in today's video we're going to talk about how you can slow down kite surfing, because of course you finally learned how to kite surf, you're going along the water surface, so how do you actually stop? That's something that we see with a lot of beginners. You know, the exciting part is to get up and running, and finally you're going along, but you know, how do you slow your kite down without crashing, okay? Because a lot of the times people crash and that's how they end up stopping. So in this video, we're gonna go through 3 different ways that you can slow down, and hopefully we'll give you some tips so that you can get out there and feel more confident and comfortable when you're kite surfing. So we're down here in Kiteboarding. We've just competed in the GKA World Tour event, and we're standing in front of the Robertson Hotel. They were one of the major sponsors for the GKA event, and they have really looked after all the riders, so big ups to those guys. If you come in here, this is the mecca of kite surfing. They've got absolutely insane right hand waves for sort of that expert level, and also Kite Beach where you can take all, you know, just basic kite surfing onshore conditions. And these guys have a school here, so a lot of people learning here right in front of us. You can see there's a couple of kites down the beach, and so it's really cool spot to come for a kite holiday. So I wanted to give a shout out to these guys because they've been looking after us, and so yeah, definitely worth looking up if you're going to come here. Find a link in the description of this video. We'll stick a link down there for you. So let's talk about the 3 ways that you can slow down. Obviously, when you're flying with your kite, the bar, you know, you sheet out, there's less power, and you sheet in and there's more power. And so that is, you know, one of the ways that you can definitely slow the kite down, by reducing the kite's power by sheeting out. Now, one of the things about sheeting out is that you also lose a little bit of steering control. And so the second way, and probably the easiest way to start slowing down, is to actually move your kite back to 12 o'clock. So when you're traveling, let's say we're traveling in this direction and we want to slow down, we start to move the kite back to 12 o'clock, and then that will help us slow down because it's not pulling us forward anymore, but it is starting to force up, so it creates an uplift. So you have to move it very slowly. So you're slowly on the backhand. So if we're going this way, it'll be this hand, this way, slowly on the backhand, bring the kite to 12 o'clock without throwing it up, because that will lift you into the air. Okay, so nice and slow to 12 o'clock. That's really going to help you slow down. The third way is to edge hard in upwind. So to push away from the kite and start edging upwind, that extra force from your board will actually slow the kite down. It'll slow your momentum down as well. And so the struggle with that sometimes is if you're going really fast, it can be hard to actually lean hard against the kite and to sort of get that edge. And so the best way to actually slow down is a combination of all 3 of these. So you start to move your kite slowly to 12, you edge harder, and you sheet away a little bit. And that's really going to help you slow down. You'll see that just in typical riding. So for instance, when people are coming in to do a transition at the beach, so they're stopping and going back the other way but without sinking into the water, that's the exact motion. So you're coming along, the kite's pulling you forward, you start to move it up to 12 o'clock, you edge hard upwind, you sheet out, and then that brings you to a complete stop, and that's how you'd complete a transition. So that's definitely how it's going to work. So like I was saying, you really want to use a combination of all 3 of these techniques. You see sometimes with a lot of beginners when they start to sheet out, because that's sort of the natural, okay, get rid of the power, you know. When they start to sheet out, they sort of lean forward and then they sheet out. And so that's trying to slow down, but what's happening is, because they move their body weight forward, they kind of accelerate. So they're sheeting out and they're accelerating, and they're also losing power, steering, because when you sheet out here, you can't really steer, you lose a little bit of that responsiveness with the kite. And so it's important to remember that lean back, so use your body weight to force against the kite as well. So when you're trying to slow down, it's not just about sheeting out and moving your kite to 12 standing on top of your board. Lean into the kite as well. Use your body weight to really push against the kite's weight and steer upwind, and slowly bring the kite to 12 and sheet out. And that's going to get you slowing down, a really controlled stop. So that's what you're trying to achieve, is to come to a stop under control, so you feel like you've got the control over your kite. Now, I guess one other part to that is choose the right kite size, okay? You don't want to be overpowered. When I was learning, the times that I ended up crashing hard across the water surface because I couldn't slow down was because I had a too big a kite in the air. And so I couldn't control the power of it because I was already all the way sheeted out. I was already trying to lean back and I was still picking up speed. And that's when you see people sort of crash and then also crash their kite because they're sheeted out, they can't really steer it, they go down, the kite goes down. So pick your right kite size, that's definitely an important part. I guess also, if you're learning, try not to get too much speed, try and control your speed, manage your speed so you don't end up in a situation where you're going way too fast. That's probably another tip. But all in all, remember those three things. Try and use them in combination. So try and remember that, you know, you want to sheet out a little bit, you want to move the kite up to 12 nice and slowly, and you want to lean against the kite and edge upwind. And like I said at the start of this video, nice and slow movements with the kite. Even if you feel like you're going fast, just give it a second, just bring it up a little bit slower, okay? You don't want to send it up into the sky where you're going to launch up into the air and do a jump. Well, maybe you want to do that, but that's not the purpose of this video anyway. So there's some tips for slowing down. Hope that's helpful. Get out there, have a good time, practice these. You can practice all of these techniques and they're going to help you with kite control overall for all of your kiting. So definitely have a good time. Thanks guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.